Today we are going to make some oxtail ramen. This recipe was inspired by Mr. Make It Happen on YouTube. We're going to need some beef broth, some minced ginger, rice vinegar, garlic paste, some sesame oil, some soy sauce, the worst word in the world sauce, black pepper, and some salt. We're going to start this recipe off by marinating our oxtails overnight. So what we're doing is all of the ingredients that I just showed you is what's going inside of the marinade. All of the ingredients and the measurements will be listed in the description or the caption of this video. I want you all to try this recipe out, and let's start an oxtail ramen challenge and hashtag Mr. Make It Happen in the video, as well as tag myself. I would love to know your thoughts on how you like this dish. When I made it yesterday, my family absolutely loved it, and this is definitely going to be something that we're going to make sure we put on rotation in this household because it was literally amazing. So as you're adding in all of the ingredients, you're going to eventually go ahead and start to whisk everything together. And then we're going to go ahead and start adding in the oxtails to the marinade. We're going to cover it and we're going to put it in the refrigerator overnight. If you are trying to make this the same day, the minimum that you should have in marinating is at least 2 hours. But I definitely prefer overnight because you can definitely tell that it was like doing what it was supposed to do. So we're mixing it on up. And we're about to go ahead and add this into the marinade and have it in the refrigerator. Now on this next clip is going to be the next day. And what I want you all to know is it's important that before we start the process of actually searing and cooking the oxtails, you want to make sure that you at least dry the oxtails off. So sit them like on a paper towel. But we're going to get into that a little later. For the rest of the ingredients, you're going to need some diced onions, some garlic, some chopped green onions. I have some chives right here. We have some miso paste, some bean sprout, some eggs for the boiled eggs, and we have some better than bouillon beef paste. And then we have our ramen, and then our marinated oxtails, which is why it's kind of discolored. So like I was saying, you want to go ahead and you want to make sure the skillet is extremely hot. I did dry the oxtails prior to me doing this process, and we did put in some avocado oil into the pan and made sure that the skillet got, or the skillet got extremely hot pretty much. So we just want to make sure that we brown it because that step is really important. You want to make sure that you get a good sear on these oxtails, and I did mine in batches. I did not overcrowd the pot, so I highly recommend that you don't do that either. Once these oxtails are all browned, after all of the batches have been done, we're going to use a pressure cooker for 45 minutes to get these oxtails falling off the bone. If you don't have a pressure cooker, that's perfectly fine. Your cook time is just going to be a little bit longer if you're cooking it in the oven. But this meal took me, after all the prep work was done, this meal took me about an hour and 30 minutes to complete. So having a pressure cooker definitely helped the process and making sure that we got the oxtails done in a good time. So here it is. All of the oxtails are browned. And then this is the type of brown that I'm saying is really, really important to get that color. So we're going to go ahead and start adding it into the pressure cooker. So we're going to get everything added, all the oxtails added, and then while that's being done, we're going to start making our vegetables. So we're adding the green onions, we're adding in the onions, we're going to add in the garlic, and we're going to just start getting that cooked. Now it's gonna cook down, you know, when it's in the pressure cooker. So you don't want to have to. You really don't really have to focus on actually getting it like well done. Like you don't have to do that because it's gonna get cooked down in the pressure cooker. But in this process, you just want to make sure that you're adding all of the things that we need to add, because this is eventually going to turn into your broth for your ramen. So we just added in our beef bouillon. We're going to add in our miso paste, and I can only find one type of miso paste. I forgot what kind it was. You can reference back to the beginning of the video. I think I said it, but if I didn't, I'll put it in the description. But Mr. Make It Happen had 2 different kinds, but I can only find one. So if you can't find different kinds of miso paste, just go with what you're working with. So after that, we're going to go ahead and add in the cooked veggies and the broth into the pressure cooker, and we're going to pour over the beef stock to cover the actual oxtail. So, you know, this is going to be literally the broth. What you see me just do now was me adding the rest of the marinade liquid into the pot as well. So don't get rid of the marinade, like keep the marinade. Once this is done cooking after the 45 minutes, you are going to drain the liquid. You're going to drain the oxtails from the actual broth. You want to keep the extra vegetables that was left. It's going to kind of come like a paste, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. But I ended up taking the oxtails out and shredding it, because that will be what we'll put in the ramen for our meat. I also kept a full oxtail so that I could put it in a plate, and this is what the paste actually looks like. Okay, so we got our toppings, we got the ramen cooked, and we're going to go ahead and assemble this plate or this bowl together. So we're putting in a couple of scoops of the actual broth. Put as much or as little as you want. I like mine to be a little bit submerged, so I did put a good amount in there. We're going to then add in our bean sprouts. If you don't like bean sprouts, you don't have to add it. I did boil some eggs, but I did not boil them to the consistency that I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be boiled easy, soft boiled, but it definitely was not, which is perfectly fine. We're going to take a handful or a scoopful of that paste, and we're going to go ahead and put that in a bowl as well. That's just extra flavor. But yeah, back these eggs. Like if you want to make some eggs, that's perfect. You're supposed to do it for 6 minutes and take it out. But that didn't work for me. I kind of overcooked it, so I worked with what I had. So we're adding in the oxtail meat that I shredded, and then we're going to add in a whole oxtail to the bowl, and this, as well as the eggs, and this is going to be my ramen oxtail bowl, or my oxtail ramen bowl. Y'all, when I tell y'all this was so good, like I will definitely make this again. I really want y'all to try this out. So if you try it, let me know what you think. He did an amazing job with this recipe. I don't know if he made this up himself, but if he did, even if he didn't, it was amazing. Like, so y'all, I want y'all to go ahead and try it and just leave a comment and let me know what you thought. But yeah, this is what it's looking like. It was amazing, y'all. It was amazing. Even my 7-year-old ate his, and he normally really doesn't eat, but he ate it, and he ate it good. I put some red pepper flakes over for a little bit of spice. I didn't put it on everybody's because my mom and everybody else doesn't like red, spice like that, but this is our finished product. If you could take a moment and just subscribe or like the page, give this a thumbs up if you're on my Facebook page, share the video. I would really appreciate it. Talk to you soon.